Hi, welcome to the Central Spacers. I am Derek, and joining me today I have Tyler, Kevin, and a new face on the channel, Mr. Jack.
Hello.
And we just got back from the Minneapolis Regional Championships, Regional Qualifier for Star Wars Unlimited. So we thought we'd talk about it a little bit. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Jack, and how you got into SWU and where you come from, real quick.
So I'm Jack. I've been kind of part of the Central Spacers in the underground. My background in TCG, I've been playing Pokemon for 16 years since 2009, and I kind of made the jump to Star Wars when it came out with Spark of Rebellion pre-releases, and I really liked it. And now I find myself enjoying it even more with the Central Spacers and exploring a bunch of different ways to build decks.
Jack, I don't know if you remember, but you are the one who told me about this game like the summer before it came out. You said, "Hey
I
Derek, they're
did.
coming out with a Star Wars TCG." And I was
Right.
like, "I don't want to worry about that right now, Jack."
And that's crazy that you said that because I
I
think
know.
you're like addicted to it at this point,
Oh
You
yeah,
love it.
I finally
Yeah.
played it
But I
and
knew I knew that you were a Star Wars fan and now they're making a card game for it. I wonder how it's gonna be.
but it
Yeah,
ended up
I
being
so was
great
I.
and first of all, we all went to Minneapolis, right?
Hmm.
Had a blast, great time. But we had quite a few people. It wasn't just the four of us that went. We had a few more teammates with us. Seven of us total from our little group here. And all of us but Kevin actually are from our Pokemon team group, whatever you want to say. Derek, Kevin, uh, Tyler, Jack, Wyatt, Pat, and Dylan. And the reason the four of us are here right now is because we did pretty well, the four of us. Kevin, how'd you finish, brother?
Well, I believe it's 19th if you look on Melee and don't count the five people who dropped, but they still put in the top eight for some reason. But
That's kind of weird.
that's Melee.
Yeah.
That's Melee problems. But yeah, I think I was 19th, which felt really good. I was 50, like 51st, I think, at the end of day one. So it felt really good to jump from 51st to 19th after the end of day two. So yeah, really happy with
Were
the
you
how it went.
were you 3-1 day two?
6-3-1 or no, 6-2-1
Six
end of
two
day
one.
two.
But your day two, did you go three
Oh
one or?
yeah, I went 3-1. I went 3-1 day two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty
yeah.
good.
Lost
And
my first game and then won three in a row.
what did you play, Kevin?
On to Data Vault. So yeah, basically I didn't decide to go until like the Thursday before. I'd been saying for months, oh, I'm not going to be able to go. My son's graduating from high school that Wednesday. Got too much stuff, and then my wife, the wonderful woman that she is, was like, "Why aren't you going to this?" And I was like, "Because I thought I wasn't supposed to." And she's like, "No, you should definitely go." And I'm like, "Tyler, what deck am
W
I
wife.
playing?
W
What
wife.
deck am I playing? And what time are we driving up?"
Yep.
So,
W wife
Yeah.
is right, Jack.
yeah, absolutely, she's amazing.
You and Tyler played the same 60, right?
Yeah, same 70 technically because it was a
70.
Data
Seventy.
Vault deck.
Data Vault Worlds.
But
Data Vault
Big
World.
deck.
Big deck. Actually, all three of you played Data Vault decks.
Yeah.
hmm
That's funny. Tyler, just y'all played the same 70. How'd you end up?
Yeah, I ended up 6-3 as well, which after everything was said and done put me at 78th, which was just on the bubble for getting top 64. I was on the higher end of the 6-3s, but not quite high enough.
Someone a little higher up on the 6-3, who fortunately did bubble in, is Mr. Jack here.
I didn't deserve to bubble in. I don't know. So
What'd you play, Jack? Tell him what you played.
yeah, so I played what some people may call a pile. I was playing Quinnland Tarkentown because Derek inspired me with
Mm-hmm.
his incredible finish in Denver. Then Derek and I got talking, and I don't think the meta shifted favorably for Quinnland Tarkentown for Minneapolis. Sabine being everywhere, Sabine just felt so unwinnable, and I don't think Han Data Vault was that great. So I was like, I still like Quinlan. I want to play a deck beats Sabine, but is also Quinlan and Data Vault. Like green units beat that. We did try ECL, and
Yeah.
ECL felt really good, but the 25 HP kind of scared us, and we're kind of like, Data Vault is a crazy deck, so we went with Data Vault. And how many decks were Data Vault? at Minneapolis. Do you guys remember those numbers? I think it was
Wasn't it like
crazy high.
46% day one?
So,
or
yeah.
day two?
36% day one,
Yeah,
and then it converted into 45%.
That's a lot.
that's crazy.
And
That's a lot.
then in total, there was 231 out of 631 players on it.
That's a lot.
Wow. Yeah,
And
that's a
Jack,
lot.
how'd you end up at the end of the tournament?
Yeah, so much like Tyler, I went 6-3, but at the start of round 8, someone told me, I think it was Kevin actually, that I was like the highest 5-3 in terms of resistance. And then I won round 9 and I was 6-3, and I was like, oh my God. And I was saying my deck was so bad. Like, okay, here's another little insight. I played 62 cards main deck and 8 cards sideboard. Okay. You can play 10 card sideboard, but I was like, well, I'm just gonna lose the first game, side out all the cards I think are bad because I don't know what's bad and good. It's so unoptimized, and then make a 60 card main when I present the deck for the second game after I lose the first game or win the first game. And then just like if I lose the first game, just 2-0 from that point onward, which I did like 5 of the 13 rounds I played. I had like
you won in
lost
3.
the first game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I went 6-3, and I was like, I don't want to play tomorrow because my deck sucks. And then, and that was before I found out I'd be getting a Ray promo and like 1,000 tickets and all this other bonus stuff. Like I said, I'm a Pokemon player. When you make day 2 in Pokemon, you're not guaranteed anything.
You don't get anything.
So like,
what'd you end up? Do you remember? Like 54th or something?
Yeah, I ended up 7-6 for 59th place.
59th. Okay. And then I played Quinnland Tarkentown. I stuck to Old Faithful. I played some goofy cards, which I'll pull up the list later, but for all of us. But had a decent day one. Hit a couple slow decks, but ended up 7-3-3, which is an awkward Quinnland ending point, but ended up 50th place. If I won round 12 on stream instead of punting it into the stratosphere, I would have had a win and into top 8. I think I may have bubbled out, but instead I punted it and then took an auto loss the next round. So ended up at 50th. Pretty happy with the day 2, but didn't feel like I played well overall on the weekend. But that's what we all played, and that's where we ended up. Do you guys have any great takeaways from the weekend that wasn't playing the game before we get into the deck lists and thoughts over the meta and matchups?
What do you mean, like?
What did you love about the tournament? What was the most fun about the weekend? What did you not like?
I liked the lack of people everywhere.
Trauma,
regionals at Pokemon are like continuously 2,500 to 3,000 people. There's multiple divisions, multiple games. So you're usually in a room full of 5,000 people. And this room was like 700 people at most.
It was great.
Which was a breath of fresh air. You could just not be caught in a crowd and chill. And I thought the judging staff was really on point. I had my first round opponent. After the game 1, I beat him game 1. He like pulled out his phone from his pocket and looked at it under the table really quick. And a judge was right behind him and immediately jumped on it. Was like, "Hey, what are you looking at on your phone? You know, it looked like a sideboarding guide." I just had never seen that. And they're very passive in Pokemon. I felt like the judging staff had a really good balance of like being on the player side, but also having good discretion when it came to rulings and maybe some unsportsmanlike conduct. Did you guys have any like instances of that in Minneapolis, or?
I had some less than desirable experiences, but I don't really want to bring any light to that or get into any of that specifically.
Yeah. I didn't have any personally, but there was some happening around me occasionally, some judge calls that weren't a little messy, but in the end, the judge was right. They did the right thing, and it was good.
Yeah, I mean, so I had 2 judge calls while I was there. One on stream when I accidentally didn't pay enough for an out of aspect Fell the Dragon. Didn't turn out to actually affect the game that much because I still had enough resources to do what I did that turn. Got a warning. They were nice. They explained it. It worked out. We moved on with the game. Another time, like I think it perfectly summed it up. I had a question about I declared a target for a trigger and then like after a second or two before another action had been taken, I was like, actually, can I change who I targeted? And my opponent was like, let's call a judge. They're here so that we don't have to hash this out between us. We just ask them and they say what it is and we move on with our lives. That's just the perfect attitude, I think,
Mm-hmm.
for the judging around this is, you know, having a judge called on you, it shouldn't be a big deal. It should just
Mm-hmm.
be let them decide and move on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I personally, I've had instances in Pokemon where I don't call a judge because there's a lot of inconsistency. I just felt like the judging staff at this tournament was way more on point, way more competent, way more confident in the rulings, but also, like I said, maintained a really good demeanor with players, wasn't accusatory in any way.
I
So
felt
I
like,
just want to give props there.
yeah, I felt like they were very attentive. They listened. And I
Yeah.
know I've told these guys this already, but I learned something this weekend in that you cannot tie a game 3 when time is called. I did not know that. So, round 10, first round of day 2, my Kira opponent wins game 2, and we go to game 3. Time's called. A couple turns in. And I'm like, hey, man, I can't kill you. Can you kill me? I don't think you can. Do you want to take a tie? And he's like, yeah, man, let's just tie. To try to save us some time, give us some mental break, let us clean up our stuff before the next round, maybe use the bathroom. And we're putting our stuff away, and 3 judges come up. They're like, hey, we're not giving any penalties, not giving any warnings even, but you can't do that. You have to finish the game. You can't ask your opponent to tie unless it's before you even set up. So I learned that today, Sunday.
It's like an intentional draw, though, right?
Yeah,
Not
but you
like
can
not a
only
natural tie. You can still
Mhm.
natural tie, but you just can't like
Right.
decide with your
Correct.
opponent.
Yeah,
Let's
Correct.
tie
but you
right
still have
now.
to
Okay.
finish the game no matter what,
Correct.
even if
Okay.
it's natural tying.
Yep.
On the topic of great highlights from the weekend that weren't necessarily gameplay, I mean, as you brought up, Derek, I was kind of the only one in the group that didn't come from Pokemon. We actually, Derek and I met playing Star Wars at my local store, and this is the first card game like this that I've really gotten into super competitively, and it's just been great to find another group of people passionate about it and wanting to get better and is really fun to hang out with. So I always enjoy going to this stuff with y'all and spend the weekend and just hanging out with people. So it's always a pleasure.
It's been a
Yeah,
blast.
I agree.
Oh yeah.
I also want to do another shout out. The prize wall, which you can see right here, this Ray mat that I got. I think the prices were really very reasonable. I got a lot of stuff. Like
You
I
got a
got a
lot of
couple
stuff.
playmat, like 3
Yeah.
playmats, a whole thing of promos, a bunch of stuff, and it felt very easy. I didn't play any side events. I just got tickets for
Yeah.
placement and stuff
You
like
kind
that.
of mentioned it
Yep.
earlier, but I like that they reward you for making day 2. They give you tickets, and
Yeah,
when you get top 8, they give you even more tickets, which is also awesome. There were a couple other things I wanted to point out. I will say that Jack, Kevin, and I all got to play on stream this weekend, and we all had the Central Spacer sleeves up there on the camera. That was really exciting for me. I was hyping round 5 because I'm 401, Kevin's 401, Jack's 401, and they're on stream, and I'm like, yes, the sleeves are on camera. Let's go. I was happy we bought them. And then Tyler and Dylan were both offered stream as well because they were also killing it at 4-1 at the time. And their opponents denied. But just all of us being at the top tables at a certain point in the tournament and getting to play in front of people was exciting for me. For me being excited for myself in round 12, but everybody else in round like 5, 6, 8, wherever you guys got to play.
Yeah,
yeah.
I haven't gone back and watched that stream yet when I was
I don't
4-0
want to.
against Wu. Yeah, that was okay. So what I'll say about this, I've been doing coaching sessions and stuff with Wu. He's a great guy. It was amazing. It was the first time I actually got to sit down and face to face play a game with him. Even though we've done coaching sessions, he coached me my first PQ win. So that part was great. I was definitely nervous and didn't play well, and he destroyed me 2-0. So he's probably the best Kira player, I don't know, maybe in the world at this point.
Oh,
So
hands
I
down.
don't really feel bad about it at the same time, but yeah, it was hopefully I'll turn it into a learning experience when I'm ready to watch it.
And I had one more thing to say before we go to the deck list. Is at one point Tyler and I were standing around talking. I don't remember who else was around us, but one of our presumed subscribers here on YouTube came up and was like, "Hey, Derek, you're Derek, right? Thanks so much for the videos you make." He must have watched some of my Quinnland videos, but he said, "Thanks, it's helped me a lot. I love the videos, and see you later." And that was really awesome and made me feel good about all the stuff we make, just, hanging out for fun on YouTube. So thanks.
Yeah, shout out that guy.
I think his name was Rick. So
Shout
Yeah.
out Rick.
thanks,
Let's
Rick.
go, Rick.
If that's not your name, flame me in the comments.
I really hope it's his name because
I don't
just put
remember
a
all
lot
my
of
opponents'
fanfare in that.
names, so
A
I'm
lot of
pretty bad with
fanfare.
names.
So
But,
many names to remember from the weekend.
Yeah.
So I think overall though, Minneapolis is a lot of positives from Minneapolis. I mean, I
Yeah.
really can't think of
Yeah.
anything negative. I thought the stream was actually very comfortable. There was a little bit of a bottleneck trying to figure. Kevin was there. We were both backup matches, and then they were like, "We don't know where you're gonna play," so we had to kind of stand there and wait, and it felt a little unorganized. But we both got on stream because the premiere match finished quick, and then I was on my second game against Vader Yellow, and I got to go on stream table and be on stream. And yeah, like I said, I don't have many negatives from this weekend. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
One
It's
more
a very
thing.
good look into how Worlds is going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really excited now. I think they're really figuring out how to run tournaments and stuff like that.
Well, I did also get to meet Mickey D and Loopy from the Quinnland Tarkentown chat from that KTOD thread. So it was fun meeting them in person. It was fun meeting Maddie from KTOD because he hangs out in that thread as well. And I talked to him way back when the game came out. I was like, I'm quitting Pokemon. I'm gonna come play Star Wars. So getting to meet those three in person was pretty fun as well. But you guys want to move on to decks?
Yeah.
Sure. Not
Okay.
really, but sure.
Not really.
Derek, I have a special request. Please do not put my list on this video.
Your list is going on screen, Jack. I'm sorry.
No. I don't want people to play that. I really don't want people to play that. They're gonna get
Just tell them to play it, but let them marvel at it. Let them marvel at it. It's fine.
Ugh.
This is the list I played to Minneapolis. I tried a bunch of different things. I was so scared of Sabine and Han Solo. I tried Grogu for multiple weeks based on some of the lists doing well in Lille. I tried some things from Michael. I tried some of the things from his list. In the end, I kind of put some silly cards in the deck. I took the Guerrilla Soldiers out for Ezra's because Ezra kills stuff and lives a lot better than the Guerrilla Soldier did, but that meant I couldn't apply as much pressure. I tried Poe Dameron. Poe Dameron was great in a couple matchups. He really won me game 2 of the Han Data Vault I played against. If I didn't have Poe, I don't think I actually would have been able to win that game because the board state was getting away from me, and Poe just let me close it in 2 actions, which is insane. And then sideboard, I have a Vambrace Flamethrower in there. I thought it was funny in certain situations against Han, Data Vault, and Sabine. It could kind of lock up the ground arena for a little bit, but at the end of the day, it was a bad choice. And the last note I really have is I'm low on Anakin Skywalker again. He's kind of been a good include that I've enjoyed having since Denver, but he really didn't do much for me this weekend, so I'm going to experiment with some other things. I'll make a video about more detailed stuff with the list, where I'm going for the rest of the set with the list, because I'm pretty solidified on what I like now, and then what we're looking towards for set 5. But I'll do that in a different video, and we can move on to...
I've never said this yet to you, Derek, but I should. I'm sorry about the Vambrace Flamethrower. I was pushing really hard for that to stay in the sideboard. I know, but I don't know. It just holds a little bit of a place in my heart still from the Django days, but it obviously wasn't good. But Thanks for including it. I
To
appreciate it at least.
to be fair, I had a little more space to be silly with this tournament. I was happy to get day 2 and get my Ray promo to match my Kylo promo. Put that on screen. I love that. It's great. But that's what I played. Kevin and Tyler, I'm looking at your list right now, but I'll put that on the screen.
Could I say something about your list really quick, Derek?
Oh yeah, you want to say something about my list?
Because I fumbled with Quinnland Tarkentown. I played it for the Chicago PQ a few weeks ago. I got top 16, which was great because the other 2 PQs I played, I went 3-4, so I was able to go 5-2. But Grogu was something I was kind of big on, and I was kind of pushing for. And I want to hear your takes as why you didn't play it. My take is it just doesn't push damage, right? It just exhausts something, and you need initiative, or it's just kind of bad. I wonder if that's what you were thinking.
Yeah, so I think now that I'm thinking back through it, I think that's how Ezra ended up getting back in the deck. Is Grogu and Guerrilla Soldiers have direct anti-synergy. Mike, the guy who got second to Richmond from Team Secret, he made a whole video on card inclusions, and he says that, and it makes a lot of sense, and I agree with him. And since I was trying Grogu, Ezra made it back in the deck, and then when Grogu left, Ezra didn't quite go with him like he should have. The idea on Grogu was you get to tap Han Solo's stuff when he tries to go big and go fast in space, and Sabine, you just get to buy yourself turns. The problem is neither one of those... That doesn't really work against either of those decks. I was scared mostly of those 2 decks, and I did hit one of each, and I beat both of them with this list. The Han, the Fang Fighters just do work. You have enough space units to just fight him for the space arena. And I do want to say, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I sided out the A-Wings against Han Solo, because he's always just going to kill those for free. I never want to play those turn 1. He'll just kill it with the Falcon, and then, yeah, I can Tarkin Town, but I actually sided out the A-Wings, which might have been incorrect, but I sided in the 3rd Falcon and the open fires instead of the 3 A-Wings to just have immediate answers to space on turn 2, and that ended up being a lot better, along with the Fang Fighters. As with Sabine, I don't quite remember how that matchup went for me, but we were able to win. And
that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, just being more active and not just using Grogu to tap him down and saying, "Please don't kill me." It's not really what Quinnland does, so.
All right.
Enough of a yap sesh about.
I appreciate it, Derek. Thank you.
All right, I have Han Data Vault.
Yeah, so what I'll say first is, like, because I kind of already talked about this a little bit. This is 100% Tyler's list, so he deserves the credit for me even playing well with it. I basically had 7 hours on the drive up to Minneapolis to pick his brain about all the card inclusion choices and a lot of the lines of play. And then we had 7 hours on the drive back to talk about all the changes we made to the deck after Minneapolis. So there's a lot that I think he and I would both have to say about this at this point after a whole weekend of playing it. But we might do a whole video about that. I don't know. Tyler, I don't know if you have some specifics you'd want to call out about this list, like how it compares to some of the other Han 2 data vaults that were in Minneapolis.
Yeah, so what I started working on it after we got back from the St. Louis PQ. So I had Sunday through Thursday of really trying to iron that out, but a lot of the big ones is reinforcement walkers. There's a lot of the Hans that just weren't really playing it anymore or at all in the first place, and it just gives us a lot more longevity in the late game, along with just card draw. If we have 33 health to work with, we don't always need to just discard the card. But then the Mon Mothma plus Bright Hope into the Hammerhead lines are just so strong. You just get so much card advantage, and when you're putting down a Hammerhead that's hitting for 5 on the turn, and then it's just a 5/5 as well, it's so hard to answer. And then, like, probably our best cards in the deck is Wrecker for the weekend, because there was also a lot of people playing Ray, and he's our best way of dealing with any of those leaders that flip between the 5 to 7 range. He's a big threat when he comes down. Everything about him is just really strong. And then you're able to pair it with the Cham to resource back up on the following turn. you get so much leeway to do that just because of how strong he is. And then that gets you back into the line of being able to go into home one into Crate Dragon and then just seal the game.
which is nuts.
I'd also add, we looked at after the weekend was over and on the way back. So the top 8 was playing out as we were driving back down from Minneapolis. So I was driving and Tyler was looking through all the deck lists and we were talking about different people's inclusions and exclusions. And one of the things that we noticed is a lot of the Han 2s were pivoting more to 5 drops instead of 6 drops. You know, there's pros and cons to that, I'm sure that we could get into, but we really, or Tyler really stuck with the 6 drops. And personally, I found it to be really impactful. Like the Gorilla Attack Pods, Hammerheads, Wrecker, when you needed it, General Riken, not always the best card, but when you really needed him, you really needed him, kind of thing. The other one that I didn't see a lot of in the other Han 2 data vaults was Open Fire. I don't know how you felt, Tyler, but personally, that was an amazing card. I cited it in almost every matchup except for the Han 1 green where I should have and I forgot to. But besides that, it was I don't know, it was a standout card for me.
Yeah, I literally cited it in every single round that I played. It was at that point where it was like, why is this not main deck? But I still don't want it in the main deck. I just want to have it every round, no matter what, just in case I need it. Which
It felt amazing for me too. I know I didn't play the same deck you guys did, but Open Fire was a very good card this weekend, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it maybe for a lot of the same reasons that you had, because Quinnland and Han both have one thing in common, which is 3 attack, and 3 plus 4 is 7, which happens to answer a whole lot of things right now.
Mm-hmm. And it just kills Falcons.
It kills
are
Falcons.
annoying.
Kills Falcons and kills Kiras behind the Sentinels. That's the
exactly
biggest part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're right. That is the biggest use for it.
And you were talking about Architans too. I agree. I loved it in the sideboard to come in certain matchups.
All the raid data vaults. It's home one is their insurance play in late game, and just being able to take it back, take it permanently. Because some of them can even just spark a hope it back and then play it again with the tech and just keep going late game. But just taking it permanently is huge.
Or salvage it. I had a game against Vader 1 data vault on stream. The round me and Jack were both on stream that we mentioned earlier. I Architansed into his Ruthless Raider to resource it, and then he played a Devastator to kill my Wrecker. I slammed 1 Architans into the Devastator, and then played another one to defeat it and put it down as another resource, just to like turn off Palp's Return, just in case he was playing it for any of those.
Watching you slam back-to-back Gorilla Attack Pods against that Vader was awesome. I was done with my round by then, and I was like...
Yeah. It did work. It did work all weekend.
Anything else
Anyway,
you guys want to say about the deck? Any other standout cards? I know you guys want to make a video about it.
Yeah.
The last one will probably just Mace Windu. That card is just
It
not
didn't feel good.
Yeah, at least it wasn't
Same.
for us. Neither of us really wanted it at all.
Which I was
I
surprised
cited
to
it
hear.
out a lot.
Same.
I was surprised to hear that because it was always annoying when you played against me on Quinnland.
Yeah. I didn't
That's the
face
only
any.
time that I felt like I wanted. I played against 2 of them. The first one I played against, it was pretty good. But the second one I played against was just like one of the wild Quinnland lists where I'm glad I didn't play it. It was insane.
That was the War Juggernaut one.
Yeah, he was playing War Juggernauts, Tex, Pillage, all of that in the main deck.
Let me talk to
I
that
was
guy.
not ready for that. Yeah,
Let me
it
talk
was
to
awesome
that guy.
though. Yeah,
guy's
game one,
cooking.
we were in a very long, grindy match, and he put down the first War Juggernaut. I didn't have an answer to it. He throws down the second one. It's just like, I'll hit you for 9.
I did get to timely intervention of Crate Dragon to kill a Luke in an Anakin Colossus matchup. So that was the highlight for me, I think.
Yeah.
That's gross. All right, Jack, where's your list?
So I played Quinnland Data Vault. I think I was the only Quinnland Data Vault in day 2, which I shouldn't even been there. So the story behind this one, like I said earlier, is I played a little bit of Quinnland Tarkentown. Meta shifted. Derek and I were very frustrated at that, and I just gave up, and I was like, I'm not playing this and losing Sabine all day tomorrow. And I say tomorrow because, yes, I did in fact build this deck on Friday night, the night before. I gave it a lot of thought in the car ride up there. I was by myself, so I was just kind of thinking about it the whole time. Command Heroism, that just color combination, is really good against Sabine, especially if you're playing Quinnland and you can like ping down Sabine's units and you kind of just contest them with like good stats and stuff like that. So my list played some interesting stuff. Now, I wasn't totally in the dark. There were some Quinnland command decks that did well. There was a Quinnland Data Vault. There was a Quinnland just like basic command base. And then there was a few Quinnland ECLs. And I had played Quinnland ECL a little bit the week leading up there, and it felt really strong, but the 25 HP base was a little weak, and Data Vault's insane base. So I figured I'll just go Data Vault. I don't really need the ambush if I'm playing 3 timely. So I did stick with what the other players were playing, which is like the Bounty Hunter's Quarry, the General's Blade. I played 2 Cobb Vanth, which was not good. It was not good at all because I would hit it off a Bounty Hunter's Quarry, and then so I would claim, and then they would just like kill my Cobb. And if that happens, then you can discard something, but you're out of action, so you can't play the unit. So I would just discard a 2 cost to thin my deck, but that was it, you know. Cobb was just really bad. It literally just like thinned my deck of 1 card, but then put like a few crucial cards in the bottom, you know. Eventually, you know, with Bounty Hunter's Quarry and stuff like that, you would cycle it back, but it just wasn't a good card. What was good though was Hu Yang. A lot of people were like Hu Yang.
Yeah, I told you that card sucked.
Yeah,
So I think I
Derek
said the same thing.
Hu Yang is great because you
Yeah.
could throw it out with Bounty Hunter's Quarry out of nowhere and just give something +2/+2. And usually when you are activating Bounty Hunter's Quarry, you're clearing your opponent's board, either space or ground or both. And I actually had a really cool play where I played against this Vader Yellow, and they started Bazine and sniped like a card out of my hand. I was so mad. I was like, no. And then I was like, hold on, I got 2 Bounty Hunters Quarry in my hand. So they just like pass, and I had the 2/3/3. And I was like, okay, I'll Bounty Hunter's Quarry Bazine. They're like, all right, I'll claim. I'm like, I'll Bounty Hunter Quarry Bazine, and I'll kill it, and I'll look at the top 10 twice and get 2 units. So I got like a Hu Yang to pump my Battlefield Marine, and then like a Millennium Falcon to just hit more damage on base. And that was quite good.
That's pretty busted.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I think the whole point of that deck, because you did play Plo Koon. Plo Koon was really nice. I didn't actually use it that much, but I still like it, you know. You could hit coordinate really easily because you just kept stuff on board with Bounty Hunter's Quarry. And then I don't know if anyone ever played like the Kylo deck when you flip Kylo and then you put Falling Lightsaber on it and make it huge. Well, that's kind of what you do with Quinnland with General's Blade. You just flip Quinnland and then you like hold the General's Blade in your hand, and then you put General's Blade, and then you start playing a ton of units. Like you play your 2 drops for free. That also discounts smuggle units too.
Yes, correct.
Because I call a judge, I was like, can I smuggle this tech for 2? And they're like, yep. And I'm like, this is great. I love General's Blade.
This card's awesome.
Yeah. Some of the non-inclusions that were interesting though were U-Wing Reinforcement. Every other Quinnland command deck I saw online played U-Wing Reinforcement. I talked with Derek. I was like, I don't think that card's great, man. And I was playing Han as a 7-drop, but also Home 1, which is 8-drop, so the U-Wing doesn't hit it. I am playing a lot of 3-drops and 4-drops. And I played against like a Luke Data Vault, and they absolutely smashed me because that's just not a good matchup. And they're like, you're not playing U-Wing Reinforcement? That's like one of the best command cards. And I'm like, I thought it was bad. I don't know. My deck's not optimized, dude.
When you and I were playing...
I have 62 cards in my main board and 8 in my sideboard.
When you and I were playing...
it's not a good deck.
Playing a ECL build, it was just like, okay, I'll grab Chewbacca and a cruddy 2-drop, and neither one of them have any immediate impact or do much. So,
right.
All the opponents that played Ewing when they were doing it against me, there was only one of them where it was good. Every single other Ewing just felt really bad. Well, it just was not great this weekend in general when I was playing against it.
I just think the format is so quick. Like when you hit 7, you need to drop a bomb, and like Ewing putting two to three low costed units in a meta where there's a lot of like Sentinel and like board clear is just not super strong unless you're already ahead on board, right? It's pretty much a win more card. This is what I thought when I made the deck, and pretty much since I played like home 1 and Han was like the only big bomb I would grab me, it was good not to include that. So bravo me for at least making one correct decision for my deck. Otherwise, I mean, the deck, there was something there. There was a lot. I literally wrote notes like after round 2 of what I would change, and there was like 10 lines of notes of this deck sucks and I need to change these cards. But now I got much to my surprise, I had to play 11 more rounds with that garbage, and yeah. So
Jack would not recommend his list.
Yeah. I don't even want you to show it. Please don't.
It's on the screen.
Don't build that.
It's on the screen.
Too
Me
late.
and Derek, we're gonna make. I'm okay. I've been cooking Quinnland Command, and I have a list that's so much better now, and it's actually really cool.
It's the
And
backup
we're gonna
plan
make a
if they
video,
ban
and I want you
Force Fire.
guys, whoever's watching
Yeah.
this, I want you guys to build that list, and not the Minnesota list I played. Okay.
Alrighty. Anything else y'all want to say about the weekend before we take off?
Great weekend. Awesome
yeah.
weekend.
So, feel free to cut this part. I was just going to ask if we even wanted to bring up the whole finals talk thing, if that's even something we wanted to touch on in this video.
No,
I don't think
we
so.
should. I think it's already been hit enough.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I kind of agreed. I just figured I'd throw it out there.
Yeah.
If someone
I think
asks,
the
we
big
can
thing is
talk about it. But
we have the closing thoughts of much better than Denver.
Much better in
It's
Denver.
Massive
better than
improvements just within a couple months of
Mhm.
running
Yeah.
events, just to
Yeah.
see where it's at now. It's grown a lot already. They figured things a lot out. Again with the prize wall, the prices were right, but also there was just more stock in
yeah,
general.
and Wu actually got his freaking mat for
Yeah.
getting
Right.
champion. FFG, please send me my mat.
So I actually, in my first loss in day 2 was against the guy who got the Luke 1 showcase for being the
Oh.
top. He's the only Luke 1 to make day 2, but he was like a local to Minneapolis and FFG
Oh, that's
and
sick.
knew some of the people.
That's cool.
And he was saying one of his buddies had done an interview with the guy who was on their like small YouTube channel of the guy who does organized play for FFG, and was talking about how like day 1 after Denver they were like up all night trying to get approvals to like fix it. They knew it was wrong, they knew it needed to be fixed, and they were working like all night to try. And even at Denver, like day 2 was better than day 1 for sure on price, sidewall pricing and stuff like that. So I would just say, and I felt this way about pretty much everything with what FFG's done with the game. It's a new game. Some of the stuff they've done have been swinging for the fences. Sometimes you miss, sometimes you hit. But what I value more than anything is I felt like, similar to the conversation we had about judges earlier, they've listened to feedback, taken it into account, and for the most part acted pretty quickly on things that were problems. Which, I came from Netrunner. That was not the FFG that I knew at that time. So for any of the Netrunner players out who remember, the IG museum days. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know. I'm really happy with the state of the game, with the direction the game is going. I don't know. Super excited for set 5. I don't know. Things really are looking really good right now for SWU.
And Worlds. We're all
Yeah.
going to Worlds.
And Worlds. I'm
And
really
Worlds.
excited about Worlds.
We're all going.
We're
Yeah.
having like
I'll
12
be there.
of us there. Should we show them the jerseys?
Yeah.
We're gonna have- No.
We are getting jerseys.
Everyone else got
No,
shirts.
you gotta
so-
pull up to Vegas to see the jerseys.
Well,
You gotta show up to Vegas for this shit.
the Spacers are gonna have the
Yeah.
shirts. You're gonna see them coming. If you want to, all 12 of you out there, if you want to come say hi. All 12 of you and my man
We'll
Rick.
be out in full force.
We're very friendly, very nice. And
Oh,
friendly.
Jack loves to talk. He'll talk with you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a talker though. Yeah.
Jack, you gotta be cracking up all weekend. You gotta be kidding me. It was
I want to say really quick to kind of bounce off of Kevin's point is I'm excited for Worlds, but I think I'm excited for the future, right? I think the themes of the sets have been really fun. I think the response to criticism has been really good. And I really am excited for how big the game will grow. Especially, I don't know if I heard this correctly, but I think they're going to start putting packs of Star Wars sets in big box stores like Magic and Pokemon have and One Piece has. So I wonder if there's going to be even more of an influx of players, and I wonder how much that's going to grow the game. Because I mean, Star Wars is a huge IP, right?
Mhm.
So I'm just really excited for like a year from now. Like, what is if they do Minneapolis Regional Qualifier next year? Like, what is that going to look like? I'm excited for like the new tournament structure they're going to implement next season with like the point system and stuff like that. So I just, I think it's if I don't know whoever would watch this that isn't playing Star Wars, but if you're still thinking about getting in the game, I think this is a great time to get in the game for sure. It's going to just get better.
Well, thanks for getting on here with me, guys, and thanks to all you out there still watching. We'll see you at Worlds. And
Bye-bye.
in the videos before then.
Yes.
There'll be at least a handful coming before
Yeah,
The
I got a
Quinnland
few.
ECL video.
and then,
Don't
and then
miss
we're
it.
full on
Don't
Worlds
miss
testing.
All right.
yeah.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.